AAU Mid-Autumn Festival means, I guess, the word family comes up, and also just the ability to be able to be in a space where I think people feel safe. And I think the sort of like bringing in together intergenerational families where little babies are there, but also our elders are there, and we could all be together and have fun. So I think what it means to me is just it's unity and family.
I think the significance, it's since becoming a parent, I think seeing my children experience it, it's the most memorable thing to me because it's one of the few days in the year where I feel like they are a part of or partaking in that part of who they are, without feeling like, oh, this is something strange my mom is just making me do. You know, it's very natural. They're there, they're having fun with their friends, they're running into their classmates, and they just know they're having fun. And yes, it's a part of us being Asian American, but they don't even realize it. And I think that's the best way, when they're engaging in their culture without feeling like it's forced. And it's just become a very natural part of our family ritual calendar.
Now, as a mom and as a teacher who's been introduced to it, I'm more conscientious of what the meaning of it behind, and I really feel the efforts that AU have put into putting this and making this a really community event, and so I do find it really important, and I want to make sure that I bring my kids to see the magnitude of our community. I think that's a big piece. Is now, from a mother's point of view, I really want to think about making it and be part of this community. Before, I guess, when I wasn't a mom yet, those were not thoughts that I had, and those were not priority, I guess, but now it is. So it's definitely different. And also sort of remind me, sort of visually show me how a community has grown in Chinatown or in Philadelphia, and also with the different age group. I can visually see like how many more young people have grown up here in Philly, and the desire that they have for wanting to be a part of the community, or feeling a sense of belonging, you know. So I definitely see that, and I'm happy to see that every year. I really enjoy going there and seeing students, former students, and parents and families that I have worked with or know, and I feel like, wow, this is like really a reconnection sort of time, and how important that is, because you don't probably have any other time of the year where the community will bring everyone together.
I'm realizing there's like these generations of kids that just assumed that it was always there and that everyone knows what Mid-Autumn Festival is because they just grew up with it. And I don't know that they realize, like, we actually had to reclaim it. We actually had to make it happen for there to be a recognition. I think, so what it means to me is a very like almost revolutionary act of resistance by people to sort of, at that time, and I think still now, like reclaiming your culture is not easy for marginalized people in the US. And I think it's fun to see that it's been claimed by so many Asian Americans as that space that they can go to once a year. And the number of youth that volunteer has blown me away. And it just makes me feel like, wow, like these are kids that are volunteering for something that they grew up with, that they had no idea wasn't there 25 years ago.
So then I asked the volunteer who was with me, who was a high school student, hey, how did you find out about the Mid-Autumn Festival? And they started telling me about how they had come to the Mid-Autumn Festival since they were 7 with their grandparent, and how now, as a young college student, they wanted to give back to the community, and they wanted to give back to something that was a part of their growing up. And that is a memory that has really stayed with me, and that I think about whenever we are in the midst of the busyness of planning and making the Mid-Autumn Festival happen. Yeah, just that memory of a simple interaction with one of 250 volunteers that year, that they would come back after years of taking part in the Mid-Autumn Festival as festival attendees to help make it happen. I just think that, that's a key memory and something that makes the Mid-Autumn Festival so important to me.
I think what's really been the most special memory is seeing young people who have grown up through it. My own children, for example, who became, leaders and helped direct and volunteer at Mid-Autumn or manage the stage, and seeing them just embrace it as their own. I think that's absolutely the most special memory about Mid-Autumn Festival, that it's passed on through generations, and that young people today are still as excited about it as we were when we were first, getting it off the ground. But the fact that it can be embraced over, a full generation and 2 decades of time is a real testament to the hunger, I think, and the need that a lot of generations of Asian American youth have when it comes to culture and community. And that in and of itself is extremely hopeful.